Hello, I'm Elise Chapins, and I'm here today with Akbar Hamid, the star of the short film *PORELESS*, showing at Tribeca. Thank you so much for joining me today. I really appreciate it.
Thank you for having me. This is so fun.
Absolutely. So, can you give us just a quick synopsis of *PORELESS*, what the story's about?
Yeah, so it's about a queer Muslim beauty entrepreneur that's played by me, Akram, who has developed this beautiful product called Poreless. And he has invested all his life savings into it, and he's going to pitch this Shark Tank like beauty contest and has an untimely allergic reaction. And then all the comedy that unfolds where he's getting his siblings to be him because white people can't tell the difference, and we poke fun at these sort of like stereotypes and things. And yeah, and then it all unravels and has a really meaningful ending, I think.
Yeah, definitely. So, can you tell us a little bit about what drew you to the role of Akram?
Yeah, well, it's very loosely, I feel like, based on, many aspects of my own life, growing up and sort of the other part of my life, I have this acting producing world now happening the last 3 years, but I own and run an agency that fifth column that represents all these big brands. So I've been on that side of pitching products. So that was really fun. And then also just in terms of my own journey of becoming, my most authentic self and reclaiming my identities of being Muslim and South Asian and gay. I mean, it's very much what Akram kind of, goes through. So it felt really joyful and healing and fun to do.
Yeah, absolutely. I love all of the different ways that you cover up the rash. Can you
Yeah.
just talk a little bit about choosing the masks and hairstyles and everything?
Oh yeah, well we had Alison Calhoun, who's the most incredible costume designer. She does the Netflix show Nobody Wants This, and so many others. I mean, she's brilliant. So she did custom masks for each look. Her and the director Harris Duran had like literally a meeting just on masks because it's funny, Akram says he's a Matt Bomer gay, not Liberace gay, but then throughout the movie he's like very Liberace. So that kind of comes through as these subtle nods. So yeah, each one was some sort of theatrical element. I also love the show Emily in Paris. So Allison took that to heart, and a lot of the outfits and fashion and all like was really like an ode to, that show. So yeah, that was, and then also, sorry, on the hair and everything, Andrew Sotomayor, who is an incredible Emmy-winning, hairstyle. Sorry, I messed that up. Andrew is makeup, but
Okay,
Emmy-winning makeup, which you saw the SFX.
right.
So yeah, we can give a shout out to Andrew. But we had Walton and Corville who were hair. So it was just, I mean, it's such an amazing, the crew, as behind the camera is so crucial to making this all come to life.
Yeah, yeah. I love the way Porlis kind of points out all these microaggressions throughout the film and then just Akram exploits them. Can you talk about like performing that and kind of getting into that?
Yeah, I mean, I think Akram wants to be like, I think, the white beauty execs that are played by Lucy Owen, Gia Cravat, and Sophie Von Hasselberg and Elise Beasley, especially like the Mean Girls-esque ones, Gia. Um, I think Akram like wants to be them. He wants to be like that's like, and I think he really wants to reject his identity, but then when he realizes that maybe it could serve a purpose, at first he doesn't get it. And he's like, why would I win or get anything because of diversity? Like, I'm just amazing. And then he's like, oh, well, maybe if that can help me, I can lean into it. So, yeah, I think it was, again, I think it's really borrowed real life experience and sort of how the world is. But I think it's important to see it on screen and for everybody to laugh with each other rather than at each other. And for people to realize and be like, oh my God, that's sort of me sometimes. And I should maybe be more conscious of like that stereotype.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah. So this is obviously a comedy. It's really funny, but I also really love the way that the film addresses the topic of identity from outside, from how people see you, and then also just internally. Can you talk about how that resonated with you and performing that?
Yeah, I think, well, performing is so much about behavior. And I think the audience has to kind of, you have to make the audience feel without them seeing what you're feeling. So
Mm.
I think it's also like about not giving away too much because you film everything out of sequence. So like you might be doing the end. I think we did the final scenes first and then really the beginning scenes at the end. So you have to realize that like you're in the beginning scenes like your character doesn't know what's happened, and so I think it's about like really expressing through emotion and behavior, rather than and using the words to bring that across, but like really living and breathing it and knowing it so well that it's so natural. And I think the scenes with Diane Guerrero and I in the beginning, she plays my on-screen bestie Ruby. We know each other so well, so it was actually fun to kind of riff. And we also like did a little bit of just improv. The director Harris let us do that, and that's where the genie from Aladdin being Muslim bit came. That was improv, and they kept it, and it allowed us to just be real and get into it. Like, how would real life, like, kind of bestie frenemies in that moment, be interacting? And so it was really fun.
Yeah, I could see that. Um, can you talk a little bit about working with the makeup and how that
Oh
felt?
my
Because
God.
obviously that's a whole thing to go on screen and have a
Yeah.
big rash on your face. So
Oh yeah, the SFX was intense. Andrew was incredible, but like every day we had to put it on essentially because I have it from, I would say, like 90% of the film.
yeah,
And so it was like every day coming in, and then sometimes we'd have to like take it off to do another scene and maybe put it back on. And
oh
then the
gosh,
continuity was really important. So they had to take really, because they had to make sure that the scar didn't shift if we had to, like, if you had to redo a scene or something. So that was intense, like taking that makeup off, because you can't just take that off at home.
right.
You need special like remover. But it was fine. It was fun to do and experience, and the masks were really fun. And I think the masks actually, like, they made you get into character a little bit and be a little loose and fun, because you felt like you were being theatrical and performing, and it made it feel less stiff.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Well, just as we're kind of wrapping up, what would you say is kind of the takeaway that you would want people to have from watching this movie?
I think I want everybody to know that you just have to look inside. Like, your self-worth is within you. And I think we look to every single thing, person, social media platform for that validation, when, like, the minute we turn inwards, we realize it was always there. And I think that's what this is about. It's about somebody kind of chasing this rat race validation, for his product, for himself. Approval from his siblings, his friends, but then at the end, you realize, like, really, if you just look inwards, it's all there, and you don't need any of that because it's all within you. So I think that's why it's for everyone, it's for all audiences. Yes, it's about a queer South Asian Muslim, lead, but it's a human story of that we all belong and we all are worthy, and we should all just be the most authentic we can be.
Absolutely. Well, thank you so much for speaking with me today. I really appreciate it. And again, this is just a really fun movie, and I hope you have all the success with it.
Thank you. I appreciate it. Nice to meet you.
Absolutely. Nice to meet you
Bye.
too.